do a popsicle birdhouse. Mine is actually made of obviously colored popsicle sticks, but you can do this with just regular old popsicle sticks. You're going to need about 65, and that will leave you a couple leftovers just in case. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to make the carrier, which is this portion, and then we're going to make the bottom, the floor, and these I'm going to call the pillars, and then this is the top or the roof, and then a little bird stand. Okay, so for your carrier, you're going to need about 16 because they're going to be things like this. And then for your floor, you're going to need 10. I just did 2 colors just to kind of keep myself mapped out here of what I was doing. For your roof, I went ahead and did the colors. You need 8. So 16 altogether, for 8 for each side, and then 2 for each side as stabilizers. The pillars, again, these are 3 each, and you're gonna need some stabilizers once you get those together. So about 14 altogether for that. And then your bird stand is just 2. So if you add all that up, it comes out to about 64 or 62. So let's get started, because I just wanted to give you an idea of what we were doing, showing you how we did it. So you're going to do 4 squares, and this is going to create your carrier. And I will show you how I did my carrier. Just take the one, and try to keep it straight so that you have, you know, squares. It'll work if you don't, but on my first one I can tell a difference, so I'm trying to be a little bit better this time. So that is how you create that square. Okay, put it right at the edges. I'm gonna set him aside and let him dry. And then, once you have your 4 squares, you can put them together. And I did pre-glue some of this because I just wanted to show you the idea, and I didn't want to take up all your time with that, especially just the repetitiveness of it. So, we got the one more. Okay. And if you're very careful, you can make sure you flip-flop your colors so they're not on the same side every time. I'm trying to be careful. Sometimes you can't help it. It's not that important, really. So there you go. So you just want to create some depth. You can see, I'll show you the thickness of it. Alright, so that is the carrier part. Alright, now I went ahead and I did do my floor. This is the one that takes 10. So 5 of each of these colors. That's kind of why I alternated colors. It's just so I could keep myself straight. So I first laid them down side by side, and then I glued on a stabilizer, and you can see this. The blue is my stabilizer. I glued it across to make them stay together. Then the other thing I did was I cut one in half, because you want to leave an opening. At least this is how I did it on both sides. I cut the orange one in half to make sure we get that last popsicle on either side, because it kind of sticks out from it. So I did another one to stabilize it to the rest of them. And then if you like, and you probably will want to, go ahead, once that's dried up enough, go ahead and put your glue in between the lines of the popsicle sticks and kind of smooth it out. You can kind of see that I tried to do that, to smooth it out. So now once you get that and it's dry, what we're going to do is we're going to put this on top. Okay. And there we go. And you have your full carrier there. I did go ahead also and just put my two for my little bird stand together too. Just be very careful to make sure it's very much welded together. So here's why I said that about leaving a part open. Do you see that? You want some of that to be left open so that the bird stand, you can actually center it on the back. So, without creating a bump. And the truth is, if you're not going to set it, it's not going to be that big a deal. If you're going to hang it, it's going to make less of a difference. I'm just holding that so that goes flat a little bit on me. So there's that. That's our carrier plus our bird stand. Now we're going to do our pillars, and I've already done 3 of them. So I'll tell you what I did. And I got this idea off of Pinterest. You just glue these down, and I think it's just for stability so that it can't easily break. Lay them right on top of one another. And there you go. So it's 3 strong. And some of the versions you'll see, they use a lot more popsicle sticks. This was a version that I thought was doable, and they didn't use the maximum amount. So set that one aside. So here's our pillars. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create the pillars so that they stand side by side, like, or on either side like that. Again, this is just how I did it. And so I'm going to put my glue to the outside and hold a bit. And you may have to lean it a bit. Actually, I guess what I could do, let's try this. Stick it at the bottom too, and that way you might get a straighter take on that. Purple to the outside, and then drop that right down in. And out with this one. And stick it down in. Okay, the flat sides. To me. So then what we're going to do is put a stabilizer on it. So you're going to make a square of it. Yeah. And this will help them to become more stable. Letting that dry, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do your other portion of your roof. This is my first one. You'll notice on the background I did the Z again, or the Z for stabilizing this time, and I'll show you what I was thinking. And remember, this one takes 8. Have my little pot of popsicle sticks here. 8. Alright. just line them all up, and then go ahead and take a new popsicle stick and lay it down across them. And still scoot it together to get that. And that's what I mean by stabilizing it. Okay, and then I'm gonna take another whole popsicle stick and cut that in half. This is probably a job for parents because it is a little bit harder to cut these. Good scissors. And again, remember the job is to get those outlying popsicle sticks on there. So if the Z doesn't actually connect, that's okay. Just make sure you get the one toward the end stabilized. Now, so that's our roof. Now, the other thing I did, because I wanted a little more stability, if you'll notice, some of the popsicle sticks are probably not going to be touching each other because some of them are a little more bowed than others. So I just like to put a little filler in there just to make sure that it's not going to just fall to pieces if it gets rained on or if it's windy. So I just went ahead and did that. A little safer. Okay, so I'm gonna let this one dry and peel it off my table here. That's the other thing. I meant to have something under there. So there's that one. So now you can see, and this, you want to put it again. You're gonna lean this in. Let's see how sturdy this is. This is sturdy now. Still leaning because, you know, your box. So you're going to do this thing here. Where you kind of just set it on there. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I'm kind of going to do it at the same time. Because I want them to kind of come together in the middle. And then I'm just going to glue it. And you will be getting some drip. You'll probably see some of my glue dripping down the sides. That's okay. Later when it's more steady, you can cut that off. So then, and again, this is probably something that parents, you'll probably want to help with this. So that nobody gets hurt or burned. And some of, but you can see it's already starting to set the glue. Yeah, and drop a little bit. It did that. Let it dry completely, I'll tell you that. And then you can peel it right off. I wouldn't worry about trying to get the drops now. But there you have it. There's your birdhouse. And then the other thing you can do, and I didn't do, is you can choose a ribbon for this. If you're gonna hang it from a tree or somewhere off your house, that you can actually hang it. And then you put your little bird seed in here, and your birds come and sit right there and have a little eating. So guys, have a very good birdhouse making experience, and I hope it's been a fun spring with our April. And we will see you guys in the library. You're catching us on Facebook and YouTube.